недовольная. С кем же ты теперь ласковый рассвет встречаешь? Ответь.
After the fall of Volnovakha, the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense met at Yavurev military base, discussing if it was necessary to redeploy forces from Kiev back to Mariupol to avoid an encirclement of the city. The meeting was interrupted by a Russian missile strike, killing up to 5,000 Ukrainian soldiers. Even prior to the fall of Volnovakha, there were clashes on the outskirts of Mariupol between Sparta Battalion and the Ukrainian 45th Marine Brigade along Kalmius River for the village of Pavlovil. On 27 February, Russian forces liberated the village after defeating the small garrison of Ukrainian Marines defending the town. In early March, the Chechen Ahmad forces arrived at the Donetsk front, first arriving in Benzimene. On 28 February, DPR forces, together with Chechens, continued advancing along Kalmius River. Heavily relying on pontoon bridges, the first urban battle with elements of the Azov brigade emerged at Rakivka, ending with Azov soldiers withdrawing using pontoon bridges at Sartana. Because they were outnumbered after the battle, heavy mortar shelling against residential areas in the small villages of Rakivka occurred. Also during the Kalmius offensive, Azov attempted armored counter-offensive with APCs and BMPs near the village of Nutove, but Russian artillery quickly defeated them, having them pulled back to Sartana. Small clashes occurred when Azov attempted a counter-attack at the pontoon bridge between Sartana and Rakivka, but they were defeated by Chechens. On 1st March, Ahmad, accompanied by detachments of the Azovstal battalion, crossed the pontoon bridge. After a long artillery preparation against Azovite positions in the village, Ahmad forces quickly swept through the eastern residential area. Using grenade machine guns, artillery pinning down and eliminating a group of Azov soldiers at the local bank. After 3 hours of urban combat, Azov battalion commander Alexei Antonenko gave the order to retreat to Kalinivka. Some Azovites had entrenched themselves at the local school and were eliminated. Only the ones in the western edge of the city managed to survive. Ukrainians suffered heavy casualties due to Russian air and artillery superiority. Elite urban stormtroopers on the same day. 150th Motor Rifle Division launched an offensive operation, leading to the liberation of Ursov, Yalta, Temryuk. Azov was pinned down in Lvovoshinsky and did not redeploy forces to the eastern sector, abandoning the defense and letting Mariupol be encircled by a rapid push from the north. On 1st March, Russian forces captured Statusivka and then the surrounding villages, effectively encircling Mariupol. Soon after, a Russian convoy was spotted heading through the village of Nikolskoye in the same way. Russian convoys were heading through Mangush toward the center of Mariupol, with little to no resistance, but in Mangush a large battle emerged. The Azov battalion on 1st March transferred its base from Ursov to Mangush, resulting in Russian bombardments of the city and the Azov base. Throughout the battle, Western and Ukrainian sources published countless pieces of disinformation about mass graves of Russian killing of civilians, which we will not discuss here. On 5th March, thanks to the International Red Cross, the Kiev regime, a civilian evacuation corridor was opened. But the Kiev regime and the Ukrainian Azov fighters opened fire on civilian cars with machine guns and RPGs, killing dozens of civilians and not allowing them to leave the city. Russian forces captured Stalingrad and Kalmiuski district without much effort, encircling Ukrainian soldiers within the Kalmiuski district, only delayed by Azov FPV drones and mortar strikes on moving Russian columns, causing minor casualties. Also, Russian forces captured Kalinivka and Vinogradne. On 19th March, Russian forces, after a long battle, established control over Mangush, forcing the Azov battalion to withdraw into Primorsky district, where they would later be encircled. Azov battalion was also holding Turks hostage and torturing them at Sultan Suleiman Mosque in Mariupol. Chechen forces started entering Lvovashinsky district, engaging in urban combat with the Azov battalion, while Russian regular army were entering Primorsky district. Tanks also started pouring through the urban areas in Mariupol, quickly defeating the small infantry groups armed with RPGs Azov had at their disposal. Ahmad forces led by Adam Delimkhanov quickly pushed through Lvovashinsky district from Vinogradne in a tank battle against few Azov infantry groups, liberating Komsomolsky Boulevard. 20,000 civilians were evacuated once large urban clashes were going on in Primorsky and Lvovashinsky district and, of course, Kalmiussky district. GRU commander and local of Tyumen Alexei Glushak died while fighting near the Primorsky district hospital. He died a hero's death, like Artem Zhoga at Volnovakha. Leading up to this death, Russian forces captured the mosque, freeing Turkish citizens and eliminating up to 500 Azov soldiers in the urban battles. The Mariupol library and the airport terminal were used by SBU and the Azov battalion respectively to commit vicious atrocities against the population since 2014. A large group of Azov forces were encircled at Mariupol International Airport. After Russian forces pushed deep into Primorsky district, they turned and encircled the airport, capturing it in a long urban battle, eliminating the Azovites, who had entrenched themselves there. Multiple mercenaries, including French Foreign Legion mercenaries, were eliminated during the clashes for the airport. The airport was used by Ukrainian soldiers to kidnap, torture and murder pro-Russian civilians. It was a well-entrenched military installation where the Azov battalion since 2014 had committed atrocities. During the clashes for the airport, Azov colonel and war criminal Volodymyr Baranyuk, Dmitro Konyankov were eliminated. Mikita Nadochi, while Azov pulled back into Azovstal steel plant, was killed during a Russian airstrike. Ukrainian Azov forces overwhelmed with the Russian pressure. Most of them pulled back into Azov steel plant, but some were encircled in Primorsky and Lvovashinsky districts. Dozens of Ukrainian helicopters were shot down and pilots were killed as they attempted to evacuate Azov Nazis from Azovstal plant, where they had entrenched themselves. They at least managed to deliver ammo and fresh weapons to Ukrainian soldiers at Azovstal via helicopter. Up to 90% of helicopters sent were shot down. Also important authorities such as the city's mayor were evacuated by helicopters. Russian forces captured the SBU building where a group of 60 Azov soldiers were staying and ambushing Russian soldiers from behind. 20 were killed, the rest were captured after the SBU building was captured. Ukrainian Marines and soldiers started surrendering en masse, among them the famous Ukrainian British mercenary Aidan Astlin, who would later go on to write a book and make up stories about how he was tortured by Graham Phillips, the British YouTuber, who also visited him. After this, Russian forces captured the bridge leading into the steel plant, which was defended by a group of 20 Azovites who were all killed. After that, Russian forces launched an offensive in Lvovashinsky district and encircled a group of Ukrainian soldiers in the center of the district. The same happened in Kalmiussky and Primorsky districts. Russian soldiers stormed the fishing port where up to 50 Azov militants established machine gun positions. After the capture of the port, another 100 Ukrainian soldiers surrendered. And after an unsuccessful breakout attempt, Ukrainian commander Oleg Gruzhevich was killed. Following this unsuccessful breakout, 1,000 Ukrainian soldiers surrendered at Ilyich steel plant. Russian forces blockaded the Azovstal steel plant, not engaging in urban combat, but waiting until Ukrainians ran out of supplies. Still engaging in heavy shelling, causing major casualties, Russian forces continued pushing into Primorsky district and launched massive bombardment of Azovstal steel plant using top 300 bombs. Then civilians were finally let go by the Azovites, who prior to this held them hostage on the territory of the steel plant. In a comical move, Ukrainian Nazis surrendered, marking the final Russian victory liberating the city, which would soon be rebuilt as it was destroyed by Ukrainian Nazi shelling. Ukrainians killed up to 5,000 civilians during the battle, raped, tortured, and plundered. A truly heroic victory, resembling a modern-day Stalingrad. 40,000 Ukrainian soldiers were killed, 20,000 were captured during the battle, 240,000 killed in action as of Mariupol. One of the most iconic and most epic battles in the entire history of the Russo-Ukrainian War. It's very significant, and I find it very, very amazing how Russian forces managed to pull off the large diversion in Kiev and then managed to encircle the biggest Ukrainian NATO stronghold, which was Azovstal steel plant. I plan to make the script longer, but it's not that significant. I find that Mariupol battle is already talked about a lot. The video where we talk about the Battle of Izum, the Izum offensive, will be significantly longer. We will talk, of course, about the Battle of Piske, the Battle of Izum, the Battle for Balaklia, for Kupiansk. All that was reversed, of course, in the Ukrainian Kupiansk Kharkov counter-offensive, but how that was achieved in the first place we also need to address. And let's focus on one element. The Azov battalion was trained by NATO, and up to 70,000 Ukrainian special forces were recruited into this division. If Russian forces hadn't pulled off the large diversion at Kiev, they would never ever have been able to encircle Mariupol. They wouldn't have been. And maybe they wouldn't even have been able to capture Volnovakha if they didn't pull off the diversion at Kiev. So it's comical, it's like stupid to look at what happened at Kiev as a Russian defeat. It wasn't. If Russian forces hadn't pushed towards Kiev and pushed throughout Sumy Oblast and Chernigov Oblast, the Battle of Mariupol wouldn't have turned out as it turned out, with the Russian forces winning, defeating the Azov Nazis, liberating the city, and capturing large parts of Donetsk Oblast, and later Luhansk and etc. You know what I mean? It's basically very, very, very simple, and I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next video, I can actually look it up, what we are going to talk about in the next video. Battles in Ukraine. List of military engagements. Marinka, Avdiivka, Lviv, Snake Island, Chernobyl, Kherson. We already talked about Kherson, Konotop, yet that's part of Kiev diversion. Oklika, Sumy, all part of Kiev, Trostione, Chernigov, Mariupol, Ivankiv, also Kiev, Hostomel, Melitopol. Did we talk about Melitopol? Yeah, I think we did. Volnovakha, we did talk about that. Levedin, Ivan, Makariev, Kiev, Mykolaiv, Voznesk. Part of... Yeah, we can talk about that maybe, Voznesk, Izum. I think what we're going to talk about next is the battle for Luhansk Oblast, and then we are maybe going to talk about how Russian forces were defeated in Mykolaiv region and why they weren't able to push towards Mykolaiv. I think that's what we are going to talk about next. So next video will be Battle of Izum, maybe Battle of Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, Battle for Luhansk Oblast, and at the same time we will talk about I don't know, Ukrainian victory battle, second battle of Milan, like Iski, July, that's summer. Lysychansk is also summer. Davydiv Brid. Yeah, I think we will talk about the Russian the clashes in Kherson, Mykolaiv region, and then after that we will talk about Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, and Izum, Balakleya. Yeah, I think that's the way we will do it. I hope you have a good day, I hope you like this video, and bye bye.
С кем же ты теперь ласковый рассвет встречаешь?